at a pretty fascinating store that I bought some equipment at just now in Watertown, Massachusetts. It's called Audio Pro at 779 Mount Auburn Street, Watertown. And you walk into this place and it's just like something, I tell you, I don't think we're in Best Buy anymore, Dorothy. And it's great. How did you get into it?
Actually, really, I'm a save the planet kind of guy, so I got here years ago in order to fix things so they didn't get tossed away.
How do you stay in business when with Best Buy and all the other places that people can buy this kind of equipment?
Because everybody needs to have it fixed. People need advice, so we stay open. By and large, people always calling us for advice, and some people buy and some people do the right thing. Most people just need information to shop for the cheapest price. But ultimately, when it comes down to fixing some vintage equipment, getting parts, doing the right job, the buck stops here, right? There's no doubt about it. What the biggest problem that exists presently is that people don't know what the technology is underneath the hood of their car, but they buy the name and the marketing rather than what's in there for, you know, long-term use, long-term reliability, long-term serviceability. So in fact, I mean, I'm opening this stuff all the time. I think I would have a voice to be able to explain to people. But the truth is, if you want to know on camera, most people are just plain stubborn. They just believe names. They're just going to spend their money foolishly.
Well, why do you care?
Ultimately, because we're going to be in a huge puddle shortly, aren't we? And people keep buying things that they throw away. It's everything from cars to clothing to electronics. We throw so much electronics away. It's bizarre. And in fact, if you're curious, you can see my basement. I store up as much electronics as possible and reuse the parts. Like an old buffalo hunter, you know, you take the skin off and you got to take everything. Bones, this, everything. Because the Indians knew what to do in that era. You know, they took everything they could, every last morsel. But, you know, people today, they just take the hides and leave the carcass to rot. And it's the same thing with electronics. They just want their video machine to play, but they don't care where it gets dumped later on. And the real tragedy is, and again I write about it on my website, is that there are some manufacturers who are still supportive of products who you can still get parts for 20 years later, but people won't buy those names because they're not perceived to be the fancier, better names.
What are some of the names that fit into that category?
Specifically, probably JVC comes to mind because they're an incredibly supportive company. They've actually had toxic-free, pollution-free building facilities, you know, places where they manufacture their goods. They make a limited amount of goods. They have a tendency to keep making the same product over and over again and simply just reconfiguring it for a little bit more style appeal or taste or functional use. But by and large, that's a company that you can get a part for a 20-year-old VCR from them. But yet there's other companies, say, such as boop boop, you know, you can't get a part for a unit even in warranty, and people get mad at me because I can't fix it because the company won't deliver the part. It ain't my fault. It's really their fault, or they should really complain to the salesman who is not there now to talk to because they gave them that. And certainly what is being deconstructed is the belief that new is better, because there certainly is the case that is not the case in a lot of electronics. Most electronics are dressed up in some fancy way with very sophisticated, you know, manufacturing processes, but in fact the product is incredibly cheap and designed to be disposed of.
Hey, I appreciate the reference, and thanks for the call as well. All right, so, right, bye-bye. I'm getting on camera too, all right.
Now, who was that? That was a musician who was looking for what?
Yeah, Guy Van Duzer. He's a New England musician, and he's got a 2-track mastering reel-to-reel tape machine, and he needs that serviced by us. And he's also going to see about getting an 8-track version of the same machine for a rental for a multi-track recording session.
So
Guy Van Duzer,
yeah,
well known in this area.
Yeah,
pretty well. Yeah.
that's cool.
I've been a duet with Billy Novick on playing what we call classic jazz, music of the 30s and 40s. This is our 31st year together.
Wow. Yeah. And you need this fixed because you've got some music you can't hear any other way?
Yeah, our old tapes that we used to put, you know, do our demos and rehearsals and everything, I still have them all, and I can't play them, but I'd like to document them.
Oh, yeah.
Print them out onto, you know, digital CDs or something, just so that I have them for reference.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
So we get it out of the closet and back we go.
Came to the right place.
Yeah, I guess I did.
This will help you.
Good. I'll try to help.